Hi, I'm Rodney Brooks, and welcome to RodneyABrooks.com. Today we're talking with Marcia Griffin, founder, president, and CEO of HomeFree USA. And today we're going to talk to Marcia about her efforts to get more people of color into buying their own homes and what her organization is doing to help. So we won't say close, but narrow the racial wealth gap.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk about the impact on the racial wealth gap. Okay, so white families have on average family wealth 10 times that of black families. That's 170,000 average versus 17,000.
Right.
Now, also, okay, adding to that, housing wealth is some people say 40% of your wealth, your family's wealth.
Right.
Okay, so what you're doing is helping people get into homes, and increasing that family wealth and generational wealth. Okay, are you first time home buyers? I mean, what are some of the numbers? If do you have numbers on the numbers of people you have helped get into housing or helped with their credit? What kind of numbers do you have?
Okay, excellent point. So we have right now, it's a little bit over 10,000. 10,623 people who have closed. Now, who have closed on their homes. Let me just say that we work on the home buying side, but we also, when we talk about wealth, we've also got to focus on homeowners and helping them to keep their homes.
Uh-huh.
So, in that number, it's roughly a little bit over 5,000 that we've helped, be able to keep their homes to mitigate foreclosure. As I said earlier, none of the people who have been through our HomeFree USA program have foreclosed. Now, some did have to move. I mean, some did have, but coming from us, if things happen in your life and you haven't paid your mortgage in 10 months and your job has been reduced by one half, look, don't put a foreclosure on your record. Let's just move, and we can do that with dignity and have a fresh start. That's the kind of guidance that we as nonprofit leaders can provide. The numbers, like for instance, just last year, with HomeFree USA and our affiliates, these 58 organizations, we helped 243,000 folks with credit issues. Now, let me just say, yes, some folks come in thinking that they have credit issues, but a whole lot of folks are just scared to look at the credit report. Uh-huh. So they don't even know what the credit score is. We had a lady to come in a couple of months ago. She went to get a car, a single woman, went to get a car. They told her that because of her credit score, because she had never looked at she didn't have her credit report and didn't know her credit score, that they would have to increase the interest on her car. Now, mind you, this is a person who makes over $100,000 a year, single, pays her bills. Something just didn't feel right. I happened to be she heard me on the radio station, came in. She had somewhere around a 763 credit score. Now, she didn't even know. She had a great credit score. She could buy immediately. Never thought about buying. No one in her family had bought. But this is the reality is, so yes, people do come in for credit issues, but everybody is not at a low credit level, because we as a people, we as African Americans, and then I say the same thing for the Hispanic community. Look, we don't need any more stress, don't want to look for a credit report, don't want to look at a credit score, really don't even know what it means anyway. And so, you just don't even deal with all of this. So this is something that, Rodney, that we have to work on, and I really appreciate your focus too on this kind of wealth gap issue, because when we talk about building wealth, it's not just the money. It's also the mindset. It's the mindset. You know, people have to feel that they can do better. And for African Americans, often someone needs to come into our life and say, look, you know one thing, it's not as bad as you think. You can get over this hump. But here's a plan. And that's another thing that we do. Everybody gets what's called a MAP, a mortgage achievement plan. So from wherever you are, we write out for you a plan as to how you're going to be able to become a homeowner.
Okay, so how do you do that? So do people come in to an office and sit down with a counselor or someone? What's the process? Whether it's getting help on getting a house or improving the credit.
Well, you have to meet with a homeownership advisor. So that goes without saying. And yes, before COVID, everybody met, and we had a lot of classes. Well, we still have. We have 54 classes. We have 54 classes a year. In our process, most of them now are Zoom. We're getting back to quite a number of classes in person now. But, the Zoom is okay. You can't feel in touch the way you would want to. But after the classes, people would perhaps sign up for a free homeownership consultation. So we have people who they would interact with, ask questions. Rodney, what are your goals? What are you thinking? Why do you want to buy a house? Where do you want to buy? What if you had a house today? What are some of the things that you would want in the house? And then we use that free homeownership consultation to get them into the process. Then they would meet with a homeownership advisor. Let me say, at the free homeownership consultation, folks come in, look, making $40,000 a year, want a $600,000 house. We gotta dispel those things right then, and get people to see reality. See reality. But unless you talk to someone like us, and most people, let me just say, when they think about buying a home, they go directly to a realtor and directly to a loan officer. No problem with them. We work with both realtors and loan officers. Most home buyers and homeowners don't even know that organizations like HomeFree USA, who are nonprofit homeownership advisors, HUD calls us counseling organizations, and there are HomeFree USAs around the country. And so they don't even know that we exist. They go to the realtor, hope and pray that they can be approved. The realtor is going to hope and pray and send them to the loan officer. And the loan officer, well, they're going to pull, the credit reports and try to get them qualified. But if they see that the credit score then is too low, they're just going to say, wait. And what we're trying to do is really work together with realtors and loan officers so that in whatever city they are in, they can find a HomeFree USA. And we're an intermediary. So as I said, we have 58 around the country, but there are many others.
Okay, so last I looked, mortgage interest rates were like 7%. Okay, so what has these high mortgage interest rates done to your process and your system?
Excellent question. The interest rates have limited the buying power because, of course, the higher the interest rate, the higher the cost of a home. So it's really limited folks. Now, what we have done, let me just say that everyone is in a turmoil about the high interest rates, the housing supply, very low, just not enough houses to buy. This is the time for folks to get prepared. This is the time, because it's not going to stay like this, right? It's just up and down. Things will get better. And so we've got to get prepared so when people go to buy a house and find a house that they can afford, that they're going to get approved. Because this denial issue is another huge issue in our community. It is too high, with some of the lenders that we look at with their HMDA numbers. Look, they're denying 20 and 30 and 40% of the African Americans who apply. Now, when that denial occurs, When that denial occurs, let me tell you, people feel terrible. It's like a stab in the heart. You didn't want me anyway, this is not for me. But that's why we've got to get people prepared so that when they go to a lender, that they can get approved. 96% of all of the people that go to a lender after being with us, 96% are approved.
Great, great.
We try. We try. Now, it doesn't turn around in a day. But it doesn't turn around in a day. But, some people it may take 2 months, 3 months. Some people it may take a year.
Okay, so tell us about some of your success stories. You don't need to mention names, but, people who have come to you and ended up, with a home, with a high credit, whichever. Tell us a couple of your success stories.
Okay, one just happened a couple of months ago. Bowie State University is one of my HBCUs. So by the way, let me just say that I started 5 years ago a program. It's called the Center for Financial Advancement at HBCUs across the country. Well, we're at 15 HBCUs. 15 HBCUs to energize the next generation of business leaders. And obviously, our work on these campuses for 8 months is about finances, money, student loans, budgeting, how you gonna keep money and never be broke. And how can you buy a home? We are very proud that of the first cadre of students who came to us, as we're only 5 years old, and as I say, we're at 15 HBCUs. 8 students have bought at 20, 22, and 23 years old. This is phenomenal. This is going to change the trajectory of our community. They're going to bring their parents in and their family members in to get them to understand that where there's a will, there's a way. So the point that I'm making here to answer your question, a couple of months ago, there was an event that the White House held at Bowie State University, which is one of our HBCUs. And they asked us, the White House asked us to have some of our people to speak, at least one. So the couple that were there who spoke, and Kamala Harris was there, Vice President, and a whole lot of folks. But this woman had been in a homeless shelter, lost her job, lived in a homeless shelter for 6 months with 2 kids, met a guy in the homeless shelter who had also lost his job, and he had 1 kid. To make a long story short, they got out, they got married, they're doing well, they bought a home. They bought a home just this year. And, it was just the inspiration. We had a whole lot of our students there from Morgan State and Bowie to hear this story from where they came from. Here you are, no job, shelter, and now you're a homeowner. So that's a wonderful story that we have. I mean, we just have so many. A lady came to us who lost her job, and this was she's a homeowner, lost her job. Her husband died on top of losing the job. I mean, things just kind of happened on and on and on. She just had given up life. Her daughter brought her in. Anyway, we were able to look, this is before interest rates went way up. She was paying somebody 13% on her mortgage, which is ridiculous. And I mean, people being taken advantage of. So anyway, we got her mortgage down to 3%. To 3%, she's still in her house. Rodney, in life, when we feel the inspiration that you got to be inspired to do better. You've got to feel that somebody has your back. And that will help us to move forward. And yes, we've got financial issues. We're all trying to do better. We're all trying to make more money. Got that. But people need guidance. And in our community, this is not what we grow up thinking about. We're not talking about money because we get too stressed out talking about that. But look, it is important, and it's especially important that there are housing, how it calls us a housing counseling organization. It's important that that people know about these housing counseling organizations because we can give the guidance and the motivation and the inspiration that people need to move forward.
So people who need to move forward, how do they get in the program? How do they get in touch with you? Through the website? Tell us the website.
Well, we do a lot of outreach, so this is a perfect example. So for those of you who are listening and seeing our interview, definitely give us a call. Sure. We're at www.homefree, USA, all one word, homefreeusa.org. Now that's important, .org, O-R-G. So through that, through classes, obviously social media is big. Now word of mouth is bigger as far as that's concerned. So that's how we get, most of our people, from people who have been with us, people who are happy, radio, TV, all of this.
Okay, and so where are the classes?
Some of them are online now.
Okay.
And so a person can go to our website and see the upcoming classes. And the classes are all free. Come and join the classes. Look, the information is also made in a very simple way. This is not any, terms that people don't understand. We break it down so the average person can understand what we're saying and why the information is so important. So this is really how, through people like you and Sheila and your company here. So we're very pleased and honored to have friends like you guys and the referrals that we get from others, lenders, and also some realtors. Or lenders and realtors, they refer people to us. So, we're building.
Okay. Well, any final thoughts?
Yes, my final thoughts are as follows. Where there's a will, there's a way. I said that before. It is critical that we have a comfortable, peaceful, nice place to live. Everybody may not want to be a homeowner, but let me tell you, there are tremendous advantages to being a homeowner, not only from taxes, the independence. For sure, you want to get a mortgage where you're paying the same amount for 30 years. But whatever it is, just like food, we have to have a home. And that home, and I use the word home rather than a house. A home is where there are feelings. A home is a place where you feel comfortable bringing up your kids, And my God, if you can do that and have a place that you own, and you're in a nice neighborhood, you feel safe, you've got your finances coming together, you'll really be home free.
We've had this great conversation with Marcia Griffin, founder, president, and CEO of HomeFree USA. Thank you, Marcia.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you, and thank you for listening.